Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out. This is episode 188. Hope you're all enjoying the first official weekend of the spring so far. And while we're nowhere near out of the woods yet, I somehow feel like there's this light at the end of the tunnel. I hope you feel it as well. With the 4 vaccines here, there's better weather, longer days. I'm just trying to stay positive and healthy. And I hope you are as well. Hey, we have a great Tech It Out show planned for you this hour. We're going to kick things off in a moment with social media superstar and the internet's favorite dad, Brittlestar, whose real name is Stewart Reynolds. His videos have delighted hundreds of millions of viewers. So we're going to chat with him coming up in a moment. We're also going to talk with SanDisk this hour about a smart way to back up your photos and videos from your iPhone or your iPad so you can free up more space. And we're going to talk 3D printing with a Florida-based company called SynDaver. All of this and more on an all-new Tech It Out, powered by ASUS, which I'll tell you more about shortly. But let's kick off the show with our first interview. I'm super excited to speak to my next guest, whose videos on social media have been seen more than 500 million times on various platforms. I'm referring to the prolific work of Stewart Reynolds, a.k.a. Brittlestar, who cleverly mixes comedy, music, tech, contemporary topics like mask wearing, as well as some fun Canadian stereotypes, all resulting in highly entertaining and family-friendly videos. Brittlestar, welcome to the program. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, this is great. Long overdue. I've been wanting to have you on the show for quite a while, and it was fun to meet you in person finally at an event, I want to say a couple years ago in downtown Toronto.
Yeah, took forever for us to meet in person, didn't it?
There you go. So why don't we just kick things off with who is Brittlestar? Is this Stewart Reynolds' alter ego?
I mean, kind of. Brittlestar, the name itself just started as a band name, and then I had all the socials and all the domain names and stuff when Vine came along and the looping video app, and then I thought, I'll just stick with Brittlestar because it's easier to remember than Stewart Reynolds. And the Brittlestar character is a character, but it's kind of like an exaggerated, ridiculous version of myself. I described myself recently to an agency as, the everyman who's trying his best. So it's kind of like he's got his heart in the right place and he's trying hard, but he's a bit of an idiot. And I feel that that's just me. That's a slightly exaggerated me.
That's awesome. And I love how your videos, they are super down to earth. Like you're often in front of your suburban home, like on the front step. Mm-hmm. Your videos they're very accessible and relatable, I think, and really super entertaining. But what do you attribute your success to? So the everyman kind of thing?
Yeah, I do. I do sort of think there's kind of an element to that. That's a pretty important part of it. And I think I have this like weird aspirational quality for people in that I think that I have this, and you look at my demographics and my audience, and I have this like spike from 18 to 24, and then it kind of disappears until like 45 and up. And I think it's really bizarre. And it's been great for me to get brand deals and stuff. But basically, I think that it's all the younger folk looking at me going, well, he's old and he's still having fun. Maybe I could be like that. And that's the aspirational quality there. And I think all the older folk are like, well, he's also old like me and he's still having fun. Maybe I can still have fun. So I think there's like that weird element to where people can kind of see themselves or people they know in the content I'm creating, and they sort of feel like there's like this weird level of trust. Like they sort of think, well, he seems like a bit of an idiot, and he's honest about it.
He works on so many levels. That's
exactly.
Great. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah, but don't underestimate your talent. So you mentioned that you started on Vine, now defunct platform. Do you have a favorite platform? You seem to be everywhere. YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram.
Absolute favorite platform is Twitter currently. I know that for some people it's a hellscape, and I understand that. I think that once you start to notice, it's kind of like if you're walking down a city street and you notice some garbage and you're like, oh, now all I can see is garbage on the city street. It's kind of like that, but at the same time, I love the immediateness of Twitter. I love the fact that it's everything that's happening right now. I've got my home feed set to chronological, and which means that things are rolling in as they roll in, and it works best for my mindset as opposed to to, Facebook or Instagram, where I find it really, really frustrating that I'm kind of, or even TikTok, where I'm kind of like floating in and out of this algorithm, and I don't really have any control over when or if people will see the stuff I'm putting out.
Sometimes I see you as a guest on regular TV. Is it that you never wanted your own show on those traditional platforms and you prefer social? Like, is it because it's more measurable, more targetable, more intimate? You can post more often. There's no time limits. I think your tagline is the guy from the internet. So why the internet?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that there's a couple reasons. I mean, certainly when I was younger, because I'm no spring chicken. So when I was younger, I wanted to be on television, and one of the first things I wanted to be was a coroner. I was like, I want to be a coroner. And I remember my mom and dad going like, why would you want to be a coroner? I was like, well, like, because of Quincy MD, I'd have my own TV show. And they're like, you just want to be on TV. You don't want to like cut dead people open.
It's a means to an end.
Yeah, exactly. And then I found out that not all coroners have their own TV shows, and I was definitely out at that point. I had done music for a long time and loved performing and all that kind of thing, and creating and general. And then Vine came around, and it was just kind of a real opportunity to kind of just do something I hadn't done before. Like straight up comedy, like just sort of like just try to make people laugh and smile. And it was so incredibly rewarding. I vividly remember meeting the very first person who said that my videos had helped them through a bad time. And I was like, oh God, this is really impactful. So, I mean, social to me is great because I've been self-employed essentially since I was 19. And I'm a good soldier when I need to be, but at the same time, I'm also like, I know how we can do this better. And even, I might not always be right, but the idea is I can decide when to do things and what to do and all that kind of stuff. And so I think the social media aspect, that idea of having this broadcast studio in your pocket is phenomenal. I think that was incredibly exciting for me to be able to be like, I want to be able to create something on the front steps of my house that will end up going out to the world. And that's really exciting. I can do that this morning, and by this afternoon, hundreds of thousands of people will have seen it. And that's super exciting to me.
I'm sure you do have scheduled things that you've written and you've planned and you're waiting to drop it. But then is it not uncommon that you just have an inspiration one day, you're in the shower in the morning and you have an idea for a song or a video or a little skit, and then you shoot it and post it that same day?
Here's my dirty little secret. I have some stuff that is sort of ideas that are half-baked that have been kind of sitting around forever. Case in point, I've been working on the gritty reboot movie trailer for Mr. Dress Up for the past year and a half. I have all the costumes. I have everything ready, but I just haven't been ready to just to finish it and to do it. But my dirty little secret is that the vast majority of stuff that I create, it's usually like I'll wake up and I'll read something or do something and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to see how this lands later today, how people are reacting to this news story or this zeitgeisty moment. And then I'll decide if I want to, jump in to make sure it's saturated the market enough, make sure enough people know about it, and then kind of get into it from there and then create. So usually when I'm creating something, it'll usually be very reactionary. It'll be very much like, I write down a whole bunch of thoughts about something, and then I kind of, mush that all together and form it as much as I can into something that's somewhat entertaining, and then film it and then edit it and then post it. And I don't really have, I was actually saying this morning to my wife, Shannon, that, I felt pressured yesterday because it was International Women's Day, and there was this amazing tweet from Burger King UK, which was like sent people into a tizzy. And I was like, oh man, this is like ripe to make fun of. But, I can't prepare for that. I don't know how to prepare for things that are happening, and it was like that adds some pressure to me, and it makes it slightly uncomfortable sometimes, but sometimes it's great. Like sometimes I can run across things that happen in the news and be like, the Pickering nuclear generating station here in Ontario, Canada, which had sent out a false alert for a nuclear incident last January. And it's like within about 2 hours, I had a video out after hearing that alert. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and you just can't really plan for that kind of stuff.
We're chatting with Stewart Reynolds, a.k.a. Brittlestar. You probably have seen his smiling face on your favorite social platform. He mixes comedy, music, and like he's talking about right now, contemporary topics. I think your mask-wearing video had done really well. Is that right? Oh, yeah. There's been a few, actually.
Yeah, I kind of, those masks, I did a number of videos. The first one was reasons to not wear a face mask, and it was obviously
all tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, very, very clickbaity in a sense. It was like people shock. Oh my God! I can't believe this guy's on the wrong side of science, and of course it was just a smackdown to all the stupid reasons to not wear a mask. So I mean, I felt like when the pandemic hit, And it was really evident that it wasn't just going to be 2 weeks like everybody thought initially.
Right. We're going to flatten the curve.
Yeah, we'll just hunker down for 2 weeks, watch some Netflix, and we'll all be back to normal in no time. I felt when the pandemic hit, I was like, I have a platform, I have a voice. I think that there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of frustration, there's a lot of anger. And I thought, well, if I can help by at least, showing some solidarity and sort of helping people sort of feel good about the decisions they're making about trying to protect the rest of their communities, then I'm happy to do that.
Here's a short clip of one of the songs that you produced, one of the videos from Brittlestar on Wear a Blanking Mask.
You say that taking your freedom away is what I saw you say in your latest Facebook post. I don't think you understand. Stopping your speed before it lands on my face is really what I'd call freedom. This just isn't some deep state plot to keep grandma alive. Of all the things that you could do that really hardly affect you, seriously, it's no big deal. Grab one, strap it on, just wear a mask.
That is just fantastic. I love that. We'll be right back with more Brittlestar when we return on Tech It Out. Stick with us.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, powered by ASUS for those in search of incredible. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, and that includes its line of award-winning laptops like its ZenBooks and VivoBooks, Chromebooks, and ExpertBooks as well. Check them all out at asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com for ASUS /US/radio. We are chatting with Stewart Reynolds, a.k.a. Brittlestar, the social media celebrity. Now, before the break, we heard a clip from your Wear a Mask video. Now, it must be tricky, if you can be honest with us, because you don't want to alienate viewers and draw a line in the sand where you're going to win some and lose some, as a brand like Brittlestar. But obviously, when you feel passionate about something, even though it could be divisive, you're good to throw your weight behind one opinion or the other.
Yeah, and I think that what's become evident to me is that there's a huge difference between picking a side politically on policy or these sort of age-old sort of religious things or whatever, that type of stuff, compared to just right and wrong. Like it became more and more apparent to me. There's like, well, this is getting easier and easier to pick a side. I think also, as far as concerned about the market and stuff, is that I think with all of my content, I try not to ever, I hope I never punch down. I always want to make sure that I'm kind of like holding something up. So I'm always on the side of the viewer. So I can hold something up and go, isn't this stupid? As opposed to holding someone up going, aren't they stupid? It is. And I think it's important to do that as well. And I think, if you're looking to recruit idiots, you end up with a whole bunch of idiots. So I'm not really worried about it.
Talk to us about your Facebook show. You do that with Shannon, your wife, your partner, right?
Yeah, that's right. So we do a show on Fridays at 9:30 a.m. called The Morning Show Thing, and we've been doing it for 4.5 years now. It's a live stream. It's got a really weird little cross-section of fun people. It's very ridiculous. It's basically a kid's show for adults. It's a very, we just redid the intro a couple months ago, and now it's very similar to The Friendly Giant, which was a TV show here in Canada, and with like the drawbridge and all that kind of stuff. It's very inclusive, and it's like one of the great things about doing the show is that the community of people, they call themselves the TMST crew, is you get people from all over the world, the US, Canada, the UK, Australia, Japan, that people tune in, Thailand. It's just sort of really weird group of people. But then there's been people who have actually traveled prior to the pandemic, traveled to meet each other and meet up, which is hilarious. So you've got people who are meeting up, and their only reason to meet up is the fact that they met by watching our stupid live stream. But it's fun. I mean, I love it. I love it.
That's great. And you might be considered Canada's darling, and hopefully Ryan Reynolds won't be offended by that. But, and you do, I see you get comments and likes and shares from all around the world. Is there any pressure in representing one nation? People look at you and they think, hey, that's a slice of Canadiana right there. No pressure?
Yeah, no, there's a little bit of pressure. I mean, because I think one of the things that's really important to me too, and one of the things that I think is quintessentially Canadian, is the notion that we can be proud to be Canadian and proud of Canada, and at the very same time we can say, but we've got a lot of stuff we got to fix. Like, I think there's that's the balance that I want to strike, and especially being a middle-aged white straight guy, it's like I want to be able to say, I'm happy with who I am, and I'm happy that I live in Canada, and I'm proud of Canada.
We're not perfect.
The whole point. Yeah, the whole point of Canada is that we're trying to make it better every day.
Yeah. Speaking of celebrities, like Ryan Reynolds, who I think has, if he doesn't follow you, I know he's commented, right? But you've heard from celebrities publicly and privately.
Yeah, no, I have. I've had a number of chats with Ryan actually over the past year, which is really, really weird. But he's been incredibly helpful. I've been doing some exciting work for a project that's developing, and he's been incredibly insightful and given good advice and really kind of helped, which is awesome, which is really crazy. I'd like to be on a phone call and the guy answers the phone, or the guy calls you and you say hello and he responds. You're like, yeah, I know that.
That's pretty wild. Is there one person that you would just love to work with one day?
Don't know. I mean, I've been really, really fortunate. I mean, I think for a long time, I really wanted to do something fun with Gordon Ramsay, which we did. We did a Canadian trivia versus cooking trivia, and that was really, really fun. And he was super nice. Like we spent a full day with Alan Thicke in California for Entertainment Tonight, making content. He was unbelievably nice, just hilarious.
Surprised about Gordon Ramsay being nice, but I guess that's his on-screen persona, right? Yeah.
He was just really, really friendly. He's incredibly busy, but we filmed this ridiculous thing where my son, who was 16, did camera, and we hired an audio man, Andy, to come in and help us. But apart from that, it was just like my family filming Gordon Ramsay.
That's awesome.
It was just ridiculous.
It's surreal almost.
Even for him, he said at one point in one of the outtakes, he's like, it's just you and your family. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of how it's been for the past 7 years. So yeah.
And it's a new way, right? And with probably more viewers than his shows combined, if you think about it. But anyways, let's not.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, Stewart, Brittlestar, any advice for those who are looking to follow in your footsteps? TikTokers, YouTubers?
I think you have to, first of all, you have to do something that you enjoy. You have to make sure that it's enjoyable for you, because you end up doing a lot of it, and you also have to be able to learn from what you're doing. So, I mean, if there's something that's your passion and it's for really exciting for you, that's great. You can share that, but if you want to turn that into a job, you have to be ready to be like, okay, I really enjoy this, but I'm going to have to kind of twist how I'm doing this a little bit so it becomes more, marketable or more enjoyed by more people.
This is all great advice, and I encourage our listeners to definitely check out brittlestar.com. This is the internet's favorite dad, with a little asterisk that says unproven. Love it. And you can then jump to all of your social platforms, and I encourage people to follow you, subscribe to you, share, like, comment. Keep up the great work. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. Thanks so much for everything that you do and for carving out some time to chat with me today.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, when we return on Tech It Out, we're going to catch up with SanDisk. Wait till you hear what their next flash drive can do for smartphones and tablets. It'll blow you away. Stick with us.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back, everyone, to Tech It Out. The one thing I always hear from iPhone and iPad users is that it's not easy to get their photos and videos off their Apple device for safekeeping. There's no expandable storage with an iPhone or iPad, but there is a super simple solution available, and one that does not require a cloud service or monthly subscription or anything like that. It's called the iXpand Flash Drive Luxe, and it's really smart. Joining us on the line to explain what it is and how it works is Jacqueline Sang, Product Marketing Manager for SanDisk, a Western digital brand. Welcome to the show, Jacqueline. Good to chat with you.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Before we talk about the iXpand Flash Drive Luxe, the latest in the iXpand family, tell us a bit about SanDisk.
Sure. SanDisk is a consumer technology brand. They help with a lot of different storage solutions for our day-to-day needs for storage.
And to me, it's all about reliability. There are other flash drive makers out there, but I've always had the most success with SanDisk, whether it's a memory card for my SLR camera or a micro SD card for my Android phone or a USB stick or an SSD drive for my PC, all that stuff. I've been using SanDisk for years, and I love this iXpand family that addresses a problem. And this is what we're going to chat about today. And with that in mind, I always say the best tech does solve a problem. So tell us about the iXpand flash drive Luxe and what it does.
Yeah, sure. So the iXpand flash drive Luxe is a flash drive that has two different connectors. And essentially what this allows you to do is utilize this drive for not only your iPhone, but all other USB Type-C devices as well, such as your iPad Pro or your MacBook. And even connect to some of your friends who may have an Android that has USB Type-C. And so this really allows you to move files across different platforms very easily, and especially larger files like videos that would take a lot longer to transfer via AirDrop can be done with this mobile on-the-go flash drive.
Right. So it looks like a regular small flash drive, depending on what you call it. Some people call it a jump drive or a thumbstick. We all know what we're talking about. It's about the size of your pinky finger, even smaller. But as you said, Jacqueline, on one side is a lightning connector, which snaps into iPhones and some of the iPads out there. And on the other end is USB-C, which is a connector that will plug into an iPad Air, which I have, or a MacBook, or almost all of the Windows PCs and laptops I've seen over the last few years have also USB-C, as well as Android smartphones and tablets. So it's a very versatile device. And we'll get to how many files you can store on this in a few moments from now, but it's all built inside of this one durable little drive. So walk us through how it works. I think the first thing you do, and I really like this part, is that you first plug it into your device and you're immediately prompted to download the SanDisk app. Is that right?
Yeah, you plug in the drive, and at least on the iPhone side, it has no native Files app. And so when you plug it in, it'll prompt you to download our iXpand Drive app. And from there, you can choose what files you'd want to transfer to the drive. And you can also set up automatic backup for your photos, videos, and more. You keep the drive around. It has a keyring hole, so you can keep it attached to your keychains when you're on the go, and solves the issue of freeing up space on your phone so that you can capture those memories when you're out and about.
Yeah, because it could be extremely frustrating if you lost your smartphone. That's frustrating enough. But if you think about all the photos and videos that you might have captured on your smartphone or tablet without backing them up, then that could be devastating. So now you're able to make a duplicate, or if you choose, you can take it off the iPhone altogether to free up storage in order to download more apps or shoot more photos and videos. That's entirely up to you, as you mentioned. It's all done through the app. And not only can you plug one end into the lightning port of, say, an iPhone or iPad, as we mentioned, and the other end, the USB-C port into a computer, but if you have an Android phone, I know there are so many listeners out there that have a Samsung or a Pixel or another Android phone, you can plug that USB-C into that smartphone as well to back up your photos and videos, correct?
Yep, you totally can. And that's one of the features that I really enjoy, especially when I'm taking a lot of photos with my iPhone, and they come out great, they're good quality, but there's a lot. And then to text all of it or email all of it or put it in, a cloud subscription service for my friend who has an Android, that would take a while. And so with the drive, it's super easy to just plug it in with the lightning port on my phone, and then take it out, plug it into my friend's Android phone, and transfer those files easily.
Yeah, great point. I like cloud storage too. Don't get me wrong. It's convenient to be able to upload something over the internet, and then with a friend who may not be with you physically, they can also access it, for example. But there are limitations, including, with Apple iCloud, you only get 5 gigabytes of storage for free. After that, you've got to pay every month, and that's a recurring sort of subscription that if you stop paying, you don't have access to your files. I like that this is an offline solution that does not require internet, and you can store a lot more than 5 gigs. We'll get to storage in a moment. We're chatting with Jacqueline Sang, product marketing manager for SanDisk. We're learning about the iXpand flash drive Luxe, which just debuted. It's a really smart device for both iOS and Android devices, as well as Windows and Mac computers too. What if you lose the drive though, Jacqueline? Can you password protect it?
You can password protect files on your drive. If your drive ever gets lost, you feel safe knowing that the files that you care about are password protected.
And by the way, there are other iXpand solutions, including this wireless mat that lets you wirelessly charge up your smartphone, whether it's an iPhone or Android device, and automatically backs up your files over your Wi-Fi network as well. So really cool there. But going back to the iXpand flash drive Luxe, which is spelled, by the way, Luxe for our listeners, what are the different storage configurations available and how much do the prices start at?
The iXpand flash drive Luxe is available in 64 gigabyte, 128, and 256. And MSRP is at $44.99, $59.99, and $89.99 US dollars respectively.
Okay, so anywhere between $49 and $89, depending on how much storage you want. You have 3 different options. So you would likely match what your iPhone or iPad has, or go a little bit more. And then you can fit more files on there from your computer or from another device like an Android tablet or something. All right, Jacqueline, and where could we learn more about the iXpand drive?
You can learn more about this drive at SanDisk.com.
Okay, so SanDisk.com, and of course, all the big box retailers will carry it as well. So check it out again, Luxe, and it's iXpand, the letter iXpand. Jacqueline Sang, great to chat with you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful spring.
Thank you. You too.
We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Listening to Tech It Out on the Radio America Network. Thank you for tuning in this hour. This program is powered by ASUS. For those in search of incredible, ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning laptops and desktops, monitors, smartphones, smartwatches, tablets, and much more. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. Again, that's asus.com/US/radio. All right, let's continue on with this show. If you haven't yet seen them in action, 3D printers are super exciting, and they're becoming a lot more affordable and easy to use for home use. And a new model is now available called the a.k.a. 2 from a company called SynDaver. To learn all about it, we're joined by SynDaver VP Kurt Kettner, based in Tampa, Florida. He also heads up the 3D printing division at SynDaver. Welcome to the program, Kurt. Good to chat with you.
Hi, Mark. Good to chat with you.
Great. Now, before we talk about the new a.k.a. 2, tell us a bit about the company SynDaver, which is spelled for our listeners SYN, capital DAVER.
Yep. Well, SynDaver has been around quite a while. It is our parent company to the 3D printing division, which we call SynDaver 3D. So SynDaver Labs has been around since, I believe, around 2004. It was founded by Christopher Sakalis, and they were founded based off of one really unique product called the SynDaver, or synthetic cadaver, which is where the name comes from. And these are very lifelike cadavers that are used in medical research, training for surgery.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so medical students and such.
Right. Now, SynDaver has grown quite a bit since that time, and they do a wide variety of medical models that are used in government, military, medical, education. So there's a wide variety of different types of medical models, both human and animal models as well.
Oh, neat. Okay, and then you also have this 3D printing division, SynDaver 3D. You've got a new model out called the a.k.a. 2, but at a higher level, what's possible with the 3D printer for those who haven't yet seen one in action?
Well, that's a pretty loaded question. 3D printing over the past 10 to 15 years has just exploded. And so you can print anywhere from biological cells to plastics to metal to concrete.
Yeah, I've seen like 3D printers create like building homes. Yeah.
Right. So there's a whole lot of things that are possible in our space that our printers used in. There's still a lot of different things that are printed, anywhere from jigs and fixtures to toys to jewelry to products.
Prototypes as well?
Prototypes, yeah. Medical models, molds for models as well. So, yeah, all sorts of things.
Got it. Very cool. So the a.k.a. 2, which is AXI, then the number 2, this is a plastics-based 3D printer?
Yes, it's a thermoplastics. So it's based off of plastic that can be melted and then extruded in through a nozzle to print a product. And then that plastic can be remelted if necessary as well. So it's a meltable plastic, yeah.
So, and when it hardens, it's like, I think it's like an ABS plastic, like a Lego piece. Is that fair?
Yes, so there's a wide range of plastics.
Okay.
You know, just like there's different types of materials, there's a range of plastics that you can use. So some of them are biocompatible, that you could, make something that you could put water into and drink from. Some of them are, just regular plastics like ABS, PLA, PETG,
right.
Polycarbonate, so a wide range of plastics.
Huh. All right, so tell us about the a.k.a. 2.
Sure. So the a.k.a. 2 is SynDaver 3D's second printer. It's a follow-on to our first printer, which was the a.k.a. 1, which we released last spring. And we came out of the gate with that really quickly on the startup of this 3D division, and soon found that the a.k.a. 1 was a really good seller, but we found ways to reduce cost and make the printer better. And so we have, that's when we came out with the a.k.a. 2 just recently.
Okay, so this is for regular consumers, for home use, as well as entrepreneurs and inventors and people like that. And out of all the new features that have been added over its predecessors, I think Wi-Fi, there's adjustable stage lighting, and a new motion system. What do you think is the most significant?
Well, that's really hard to say. They all play together to make a really good printed object. But I would say basically our improvement on the ability to do a dimensionally correct object. So we're printing down to the micron level. And so you can get some very fine detailed products coming off of the printer. And so I think our ability to just make sure that the models themselves are very accurate is probably one of the biggest ones to that. I would say as a follow-on, the Wi-Fi is incredibly useful. A lot of our printers are used in what are called print farms, and that's where they'll have hundreds of printers printing parts. And so through our Wi-Fi interface, they can manage all those printers from a single computer. And so they can access each one of those and start their prints and pause them and see how they're doing and all that.
What would be a consumer application for the Wi-Fi support? Could you, for example, download a 3D print file from the internet? Let's say you don't want to draft your own creation, but you want to print, I don't know, a cool coffee mug that someone is giving you the rights to download and use.
Sure.
So could you use your phone then wirelessly? When we return, we'll get the answer and a lot more on SynDaver's new 3D printers. We'll be right back.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Check It Out whenever you want.
We're chatting with Kurt Kettner. He is a VP at SynDaver. He's also running the SynDaver 3D division within the company, SynDaver Labs in Florida, and they have a new 3D printer on the market called the a.k.a. 2. Before the break, I was asking you what's the consumer appeal for Wi-Fi. Is it that you can, say, download a blueprint of a 3D design to your smartphone or tablet and then wirelessly send those instructions to the 3D printer?
Absolutely. So you could print from your phone if you wanted to, or any Wi-Fi device, a tablet. So our interface is browser-based, so it's independent of, any type of computer. As long as you've got a browser, you can Wi-Fi to the printer.
Got it. So your previous model required a USB connection.
There's a USB connection, or you could actually have a USB device and plug it in.
Okay, so you could still do that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What would you say, Kurt, makes your 3D printer unique compared to competing models, for example?
Sure. So as I mentioned, when we came out with the a.k.a. 2, our goal was not just to make a better printer, but also to make a printer that was lower cost from our original one. So I would say one of the biggest things is that we provide a lot of value in the printer. There are a lot of Chinese-made printers, kind of knockoffs, but they're not the same type of quality that the a.k.a. 2 offers. We have a 3-year warranty on our printer. Our printer is made in the USA, and we still provide a lot of value, so you get a lot for what you're paying for the product. I think that's what really sets us apart when it comes to the desktop 3D printers.
Okay, fair enough. Before we wrap up, what are some of the more interesting things that you've seen people make with the a.k.a. 2 or even the first model?
Well, I tell you, there's such a wide range, but I've seen people make jewelry. I've seen people make, I know one of our customers makes some jigs and fixtures that's used in manufacturing of one of the high-end automobile companies. Cosplay, people have made like Star Wars props and stuff that they use for cosplay. So just a wide range of different things.
That's awesome. And what are the dimensional limits? Is it 8 inches cubed or 10 inches cubed?
So with our printer, you can print a full 11 inches cubed.
Sweet. Okay, awesome. And then finally, Kurt, how much does the a.k.a. 2 cost? And tell us where we can learn more, including a trade-up program that you're offering.
Sure. So the a.k.a. 2 is currently listed at $19.95. That is an introductory price. You can learn more about that on the SynDaver.com website or the SynDaver3D.com website.
Okay.
Both of those will have information there. The SynDaver 3D printer trade-up program is something that we're really excited about. So we have several new printers that we're going to be coming out with this year, and some of them are higher-end printers, and so we want to give people the opportunity to always have access to the most recent technology that SynDaver 3D has to offer. And so our trade-up program allows people to, over the lifetime of the printer, be able to trade it in and apply that towards one of the higher-end printers in the future. Our goal here is that we're excited about what we're doing. We think we have some really exciting 3D printing technologies that we're going to be implementing, and we want our customer base to buy into that SynDaver 3D ecosystem.
Mm-hmm. Got it. And then the website, once again, is SynDaver3D.com. So that's SYNDAVER 3D.com. We've been chatting with Kurt Kettner. Great to chat with you, Kurt. Thanks again, and good luck with the a.k.a. 2 launch.
Sure. Thank you. I appreciate it. It was good talking with you.
Hey, I hope you all enjoyed this weekend's new Tech It Out program, whether you listen to it on your local radio station or in podcast form. If you do like it, please feel free to leave a star review on iTunes or Google or Spotify, any place that you do subscribe to and listen to podcasts. I appreciate that. Feel free to tell a friend or a family member or a colleague about the show. If you want to reach out, you can do so on social media. It's Mark Saltzman, Mark with a C, SALTZMAN. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Or you can send me an email. tech@marksaltzman.com. That's TECH at MARC SaltzMan.com. If you do follow me on social media, I do write a tech tip of the day, a little tip or trick or life hack on getting more out of your tech in plain English and ways to save money through technology. So I hope you enjoy that. I get great feedback from my followers on social media about that. It's usually accompanied by a video as well. And of course, you can also let me know on social media what you'd like in an upcoming episode of Tech It Out. Have a great week ahead, everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I look forward to chatting with you next weekend on a brand new episode of Tech It Out on the Radio America Network. Bye-bye for now.